welcome to a new sit down talk video because there's definitely not so much I can do at the moment. I injured my knee already a few weeks ago and then I re-injured it and it didn't get better. So I went to the GP and he suspects that I have a meniscus injury. I just took the MRI, so we're waiting for the results, but it can take a while because it's still holiday season. So yeah, they said it can take up to 2 weeks. So I have been on crutches for like 12 days now, 13 days. And it has been a tough time. I definitely have to say that. I'm a highly sensitive person, so I feel everything very deeply. The positive and the negative, it's a curse and a blessing. And I thought like I will share here in this video a bit how the days went by, what I do see, what kind of changes. I do have this 90-day wellness journal that I got from Cultivate What Matters, and I've tried it several times and I never really got into it, but this time I feel like I'm fully in. I had to rip out all the journal pages that I had already used, but it's basically that you have you can write down the date and the day, your mood or your energy, your water intake, and then you have a lot of like space for journaling. And then they ask you here things like exercise, movement, healthy meals, rest, sleep, self-care, vitamins. Then you can have like little notes here, and today I'm grateful for. And this is a really nice setup for me to reflect in the evening, or sometimes I do it in the morning, how the last day went, also seeing like progress I made emotionally or physically, and giving every single day a little bit more of a meaning and like an account for what happened. Why? Because when you're here at home, mostly on your crutches, can't really leave the home, they start to blend in, but there's still so much good in a situation that doesn't feel so well. And that was really important for me also to track and document that. So after I had gone to my GP and got my crutches, I came home, and I remember that because I still were walking with the knee, I tried to not to put so much pressure on it, but I still were walking normally, more or less, with crutches. And yeah, I remember I was already feeling like really hurt in my hands from walking on the crutches, but then I also felt really exhausted and I had so much pain in my knee. And the next day was the first day that I would start my healing journey. I went into home office instead of like going to work. I thought about not putting any pressure on the leg, but I really wasn't ready because my hands hurt so much. I think they had already started to become really red and swollen, and I just knew I wasn't able to hold myself for a whole day yet. So I really hope that it worked out in a way that I just try to rest a lot, not move much, and we're just gonna see. My GP was a bit unclear how I should proceed. He just said like, oh, you can walk as much until you feel pain. Yeah. And I definitely remember on my second day, I just walked a bit in the kitchen, like from the table to the fridge, picking up a plate. And that made my knee hurt for like 3 hours. And that was where I thought like, okay, this is not working. I have to take off the pressure. And from day 2, I started walking only on crutches without putting any pressure on it. And that was extremely exhausting. I'm happy that I was in home office because I had something to do and I still had a lot of like time to just rest the knee. But I was so exhausted, and I think that was the first time I really had like a meltdown in the evening and just cried and cried, because I think it was more like an initial shock phase where life suddenly changes so much, because everything is so hard when you're on crutches. You just bringing things from one room to the other isn't possible without like having a backpack with you, or like any kind of bag. Like I can maybe hold like a iPhone charger. I can hold that while going on crutches, but for example my phone I can't, it's just slipping. And every time you kind of like stand up, you have to think about, okay, I'm going now to the kitchen. What do I have to bring from here over there? And I often, especially in the beginning, I obviously would go somewhere just to realize, oh no, you forgot this and that, and now you have to go back. And it's just a lot of like mental labor to think about everything you do before you do it. And then in addition, it also feels really like, it's just so exhausting. I mean, it is a full body workout to walk on crutches. Yeah, it just is. I would say after the initial shock, I started to have a bit more of like a good phase for a few days. I felt a bit more energy. I could see that the knee didn't hurt as much anymore, so that was really good to know. Okay, taking off the pressure, walking on crutches everywhere, not putting any pressure on the leg has a positive outcome, so we just have to continue with that. I also found like there's a YouTube channel called Senior Shape Fitness that has a lot of chair workouts. So I remember I did some of them. I felt really exhausted from walking with the crutches, so I only did like 10 or 20 minutes, but I felt really proud that I tried. Sometimes I would feel the knee a bit more afterwards, so I still was in a phase where I had to find out what works and what doesn't. Then on the 5th day, I got a lot of support from other people around me. First, a colleague came to bring me new crutches. She has these ones that also have like this kind of like cushioning on here, which makes it definitely a bit more comfortable to walk with them, and I'm guessing I have a bit less pain because I'm having them. So that was really nice. She was so helpful, so sweet. Because she has been on crutches several times, she knew exactly what I needed. She changed the water for my flowers, she took out the trash, she unloaded the dishwashers. She was really like, okay, go, go, go. I know this is hard, I'm doing that for you. What else can I do? And I'm like, oh, okay. It, for me, who's a person who's very independent, it felt really hard to let people in and do things for you that you just can't do anymore, like vacuuming, or like I can do hang up the laundry, but now I would say it's also getting better. But in the beginning, I needed to have my knee like lifted up the whole time, or I'm having it elevated, so it was just not possible for me to hang up clothes. And later that day, another colleague came and she did even more things. Like later that day, another colleague came and she was so sweet. She vacuumed and she hung up the laundry and helped me with small things here. I think it was mostly also helped to have like a bit emotional support. And I also had asked her if she could help me practicing going up the stairs, and thankfully one of my neighbors is studying physiotherapy, so he joined us and helped a bit, telling me how I should go up and down and what kind of possibilities I have, how I could do it. And we just had like a really nice chat with all the, like we were like 4 people in the end, and just talked for like 2.5 hours, and it was a beautiful evening, like eating pizza and drinking soda and having just a nice day. And that was really recharging after many hard days. I feel very held, and yeah, that was a beautiful day. The following day, day 6, was definitely lower. I think I had like a really high on day 5 with so much support around me and so much love. And then it was a very quiet day on day 6. But it has also had like feelings of like wanting to be creative. I went through my YouTube music library, looked through all the music that I'm using here for these YouTube videos, deciding what I would want to let go, what I want to add. I also started thinking like I want to make like a new intro, which you just saw, because I'm really proud that I love to make them. And yeah, I was really thrilled to do a new intro. And then I had like a really low right after that. I worked really hard for like a few hours, and then I was completely done and probably sitting in the kitchen again crying just about a really small thing that I'd forgotten here. And then I knew I had to, because it's so much. It's like when you're in the kitchen and realize you have forgotten something, you have to go. You have to put on your backpack, you have to put on the crutches, then you have to walk over here, then you have to sit down, have to take this crutches somewhere on the side or here on the table. Often they fall down, so you have to really be sure that they are not. Then you take off your backpack, then you open the backpack, then you get what you want, put it in, put on the backpack, get your crutches, go up, and then go back, and then everything again. And this is so exhausting, like these all small things. Now I feel like I've started to get used to it. There's less mind drama around it, but the first days were really hard with that. And in addition, one of my pipes was blocked and I had a little overflooding in the bathroom. I managed to fix it myself, but I couldn't wash the towels that I had used to get all the fluid. But thankfully I have another neighbor, and he came and he unclogged the pipe. I knew that I could do doing the laundry a few days later when I have somebody else coming. But it was so helpful to have him here and just doing things like just bringing like hot boiling water from the kitchen to the bathroom. That's just not possible for me at the moment. So very grateful that he helped me. And I would say that's a bit how the first week went. I definitely was in a shock phase, and then a lot of like feeling okay in the morning and then feeling extremely exhausted in the evening. That was like a pattern that I could see. I definitely see like I usually write down my energy in the morning and in the evening, and I can often see it's like a 3, a 4, or a 5 in the morning, and then a 1 or 2, sometimes a 3 in the evening. So I definitely see a big change during the day. I also hadn't been in the office the whole week, so I felt a bit disconnected, like also to my colleagues, because obviously I don't see anybody. I felt the knee definitely made progress as soon as I didn't put any pressure on it anymore. There were a few days where I felt like it was just kind of the same every morning. I had often pain in the evening, especially if I'm rotating, and I'm a person who sleeps on the side, so it was so hard some days to just find the right position where I could lie down, because I tried to have it elevated on a pillow, but that I just couldn't sleep with that, so I had to put it on the side. But yeah, so sleep wasn't definitely not the best as well. And yeah, I think I've learned a lot just in the first week. It feels still a bit uncomfortable to take all the love from others, receiving love and care without like giving something back immediately, and just like existing without earning your place in a way. Yeah, has been definitely a journey that I didn't think I would go on, but that's where we are, and I also know it will get better. I know it will get better. I think I will end the video already here, and then we just check in for the next week. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful Sunday. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.